Well, hello everybody, my name is Roger and welcome to my channel, Rogers Reads. So I've had a few people since I started this channel ask me or request that I do a bookshelf tour. And it's been something I've been wanting to do, so here we are. I've decided to just do a shelf or two at a time because I have a whole bunch of bookshelves upstairs, downstairs, in my bedroom, behind me. So I'm just gonna probably just break this video into several parts, do a shelf or two at a time and slowly. So I'll start off with the bookshelf right behind me and start with the top shelves and work my way down, and then I'll move go on to the other shelves in the house. So let's get cracking. So the first book is Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This is the book that I'm currently reading, Summoned to the 13th Grave by Dorinda Jones. This is the last book in the Charlie Davidson series. This is Endurance, Shackleton's Incredible Voyage by Alfred Lansing, a non-fiction book. Excellent book, by the way. The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. I love Sherman Alexie's books. He's written some great stuff. And here's another book by Sherman Alexie called Flight. And yet another called War Dances, again by Sherman Alexie. This is called Even Cowgirls Get the Blues by Tom Robbins. Tom Robbins is another one of my favorite authors. Probably one of my favorite books by him is, oh God, I can't remember it. Never mind. And here's a little book entitled The Last Night at the Lobster, which is a really fun book also. Yeah, I've read this a couple of times. Written by Stuart Onan. Next up is Almost Like Being in Love, written by Steve Kluger. This is a really fun, gay love story. Yeah, I read this in my book club a couple of years ago, more than a couple, many years ago actually, and I just fell in love with this book. And here we have the movie tie-in version of Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, written by Becky Albertalli. So here we have the three books in the Summoners series by Trent Matheru. I don't know if I butchered the person's name or not. So the first book is entitled Novice. Book 2 is Inquisition. And book 3 is Battle Mage. Next up is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. And the next book is the first book in the Kate series by Rick Riordan, The Red Pyramid. Book 2, The Throne of Fire, also by Rick Riordan. And book 3, The Serpent's Shadow by Rick Riordan. Next up is the Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard series. This book is The Hammer of Thor, which is actually book 2 in the series. And book 3 in the series is The Ship of the Dead. Next up is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson, and this is his first standalone novel. Now we're moving on to Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn trilogy, the first being The Final Empire. Book 2 of the Mistborn series, The Well of Ascension. Book 3, The Hero of Ages. Warbreaker, which is another standalone novel by Brandon Sanderson. And now the next three books, which are a continuation of the Mistborn series, but which take place 300 years later. I think they call this the Mistborn Era 2. So the first book is Shadows of Self, Alloy of Law, The Bands of Mourning. Okay, actually, the next 4 books on my shelf are books that I've written. So the first is A Touch of Cedar. And this is my standalone time travel novel. The next 3 books are the 3 books in my Ghost Oracle series, with the first being Nick's Awakening, Book 2, Anaconda, Book 3, The Magician's Secret, with Book 4 on the way. And here are some mass market paperbacks that I actually have tucked behind the books in my first shelf, the first being Jitterbug Perfume by Tom Robbins. Now this is my favorite Tom Robbins book. Love it. It's also the first book I read by him. Arthur Clarke, Childhood's End. Arthur C. Clarke, The Fountains of Paradise. Douglas Adams, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. Life, the Universe, and Everything, Douglas Adams. The Restaurant at the End of the Universe by Douglas Adams. 101 Things You Need to Know and Some You Don't by Richard Horn and Tracy Turner. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. To Sail Beyond the Sunset by Robert A. Heinlein. This is The Garden of Rama by Arthur C. Clarke and Gentry Lee, and I think this is the third book in the Rama series. It's just real funny with this. I have a couple in paperback and a couple in hardcover. One of those irritating things on my bookshelf. But yeah, Garden of Rama, another fun series I read many, many years ago that I just absolutely loved. Okay, now we're moving on to the second shelf, and this is the Lord of the Rings series. The first being Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. And the book that began it all, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. So next up is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. First book of the series, City of Bones. Book 2, City of Ashes. Book 3, City of Glass. Book 4, City of Fallen Angels. Book 5, City of Lost Souls. Book 6, City of Heavenly Fire. Another Cassandra Clare book, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. This is also written by a couple of other authors as well. Sarah Rees Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Wasserman. Another book by Cassandra Clare set in the Shadowhunters world, The Bane Chronicles, featuring Magnus Bane, everybody's favorite warlock. Okay, so now we're moving on to another series by Cassandra Clare, which I have heard is much better than the Mortal Instruments. So the first book here is A Clockwork Angel, followed by A Clockwork Prince, the last being Clockwork Princess. And moving on to a third series by Cassandra Clare entitled The Dark Artifices series. First book is Lady Midnight. The second book is Lord of Shadows, with the third book to be released, I do believe, in November of this year, 2018. And the last two books of my bookshelf for today are Illuminae, written by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is book 2 in the Illuminae files, and I do not have book 3 yet, which I probably will be getting shortly. So that is it for my bookshelf tour for today. So I actually did two shelves today. So look forward to a continuation of this video coming up. Roger and out.